Hello YouTube and people of the interwebs, welcome back to another Doctor Who video. Doctor Who is about to be rebooted. Series 14 is no more. It's now Series 1. When Ncuti Gatwa takes over as the Doctor with Millie Gibson as his companion, Ruby Sunday, we'll be waving goodbye to New Who as we know it, or as it's categorised currently on BBC iPlayer, Doctor Who 2005 to 2022, and we'll be welcoming in the new hooniverse era or new Who. Let me know in the comments down below what you're going to call this era, because nobody seems to know at the moment. Maybe it'll have like a subtitle like Doctor Who Flux, maybe it's the Disney Plus era, or maybe it is, as I said, the Hooniverse era. I think that's probably the most logical one. But point being, we're going back to a fresh start. We're starting again, Series 1, in a very similar vein to the way that Russell rebooted the show back in 2005 with Series 1. Now, it's worth mentioning, it's not going to be a complete reboot. It's sort of, I believe they call it a soft reboot. As I say, similar to 2005, they're going to keep the old canon of the show, but progress it in a new and exciting way that's, different to how it has been done before. Russell has promised that he's sticking with things like The Timeless Child, which obviously that was a sort of massive change in canon, and there's been a lot of discussion in recent years as to whether Russell T Davies and his team are going to keep that as part of the canon, because it's very controversial, and when they came back in 2005, they sort of ignored the big revelation from the Doctor Who TV movie that the 8th Doctor was actually half human. Although, funnily enough, that was going to be referenced in Russell T Davies' final episode, or what we believed at the time to be Russell's final episode, The End of Time. The Doctor was going to have a line about being human, because he had like a bug or something which had made him ill, which it's quite funny, but Russell ultimately cut it because he thought it was a bit too self-referential and fandom-y. And that self-referential fandom-y-ness is the reason I believe that this reboot is even happening. In this video, I'm going to sort of discuss the upsides and the downsides of this reboot and where I think the plot may be going and whether the Doctor's going to lose his memory. Because how big of a refresh, how big of a restart is this going to be? Because it's got to be quite a big shift to justify becoming Series 1, because when you look at Classic Who compared to New Who, there's a massive jump. Obviously, I don't think the jump's going to be that big, because there's only like a year or so's difference since New Who ended. But point being, they've got loads of new money coming in from Disney Plus. They've reduced the episode count to only 8 episodes plus a Christmas special per year, so that's more money all round. But as I say, I think the reason they've done this is so that it's inviting for new audiences. I mean, we know that Disney Plus isn't getting the back catalogue of Doctor Who content that BBC iPlayers had. They're only going to get the 60th specials and onwards in terms of content. Disney Plus and Russell have also said that the main content they're going to be showing and the main content they're going to advertise isn't actually the 60th anniversary. It's this new reboot. It's starting with Ncuti on Christmas Day of this year. Who knows, maybe in time they will add the back catalogue to Disney Plus, but for the foreseeable future, whether it's because of the HBO streaming rights, because they currently own the rights to streaming Doctor Who in America, or for a variety of other reasons, the sole focus of the Hooniverse is Ncuti Gatwa and his new reboot series. And I think there's clever little ways that Russell can tie it into the continuity. For example, this is a minor spoiler here, but Ruby Sunday is adopted, and obviously the latest big revelation in Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who was that the Doctor too is also an adopted child. So maybe that sort of character dynamic, they're going to play off that. Ruby's adopted, the Doctor's adopted, because Russell, as I said, is keeping with the Timeless Child plot. So rather than delving into the lore of Gallifrey, maybe it'll just be about exploring adoption and how that affects a person. Subtle little character differences like that. Now, there are rumours and leaks about this ending of the 60th anniversary flying around, but I'm not going to talk about those directly. I'm going to give theories, but I'm not going to say the possible leaks, because there's no reason to just spoil the entire plot of the 60th anniversary. And as I always say in my videos, if you can avoid seeing it online, do, Because yeah, it's always far more rewarding to actually watch the show and find out what happens rather than being told by people. But in terms of a theory, in terms of how I think the 60th is going to end, I'm not going to specify how, but I think it's going to end in a way that very much sets up a new Doctor, a fresh start, a fresh regeneration. Maybe because this whole multiverse thing that's like the big trend at the moment is going on, we're gonna have split versions of the timeline, split versions of the Doctor, as seen in the latest sort of spin-off from the Hooniverse currently on iPlayer, Tales of the TARDIS, where the 7th Doctor does actually say he's kept his face because he's just a Doctor from a timeline where he never died, he never regenerated, he just kept the 7th Doctor's face. So yeah, maybe we're headed towards a big canon break where all things, all Doctors, everything is canon and anything is possible. If we look at Russell's old era, he did this with the Time War, he did a massive sort of refresh and gave the Doctor new motivation. Now, I think there's a possibility the Doctor is going to lose his memory or something. That's not based on a leak at all, this is just a complete theory. But if the Doctor loses his memory, obviously he keeps bits of it, like how to fly the TARDIS, because that's essential, and what the sonic screwdriver is, that's essential. But let's say the Doctor had no memory of the Daleks or the Cybermen, and you allow this new 15th Doctor to go off into the universe and experience those iconic foes for the first time. Plus, it would be so cool to see them recognise the Doctor, but for the first time ever, the Doctor have no clue who they are. We kind of touched on this during Doctor Who Flux, and I don't think it was explored well enough there about having a villain that knows the Doctor, but the Doctor can't remember them. That's such a cool idea. And we know that Melanie Bush, played by Bonnie Langford, is coming back for the 60th and for Series 14. So what if she acts as like a help? What if Unit acts as like a, come on Doctor, jog your memory, this is all this stuff. And over a course of series, the Doctor gains his memories. You could also do some cool little thing where it parallels Donna losing her memory in Series 4 at the end of the 60th. What if the Doctor loses his memory? Something like that. But that's the perfect sort of way for a new audience to be introduced to Doctor Who. It sounds stupid, but we've seen 101 times the companion as the relatable character that we are supposed to relate with, but what if we relate to the Doctor this time and we see this new Hooniverse for the first time through the Doctor's eyes? We know that Russell has a 4-season plan at least for Ncuti Gatwa, so yeah, maybe he gets his memories back fully in the finale, and the new audience and the new kids that watch the show can kind of catch up with the old lore as the series go on until everybody's sort of caught up with everything for the finale of Ncuti, in which he fully gets his memories restored, or just something like that. I just keep envisioning like a scene where the Daleks know the Doctor, but the Doctor doesn't know them, and you get some really cool dynamics. But yeah, let me know what you think about this reboot in the comments down below. How big of a reboot do you think it is, and do you think it's right to start with the series numbering going back to Series 1? What big rebooted changes do you think are going to happen in this show? Thank you very much for watching this video. As ever, if you did enjoy, please do remember to like, comment, subscribe. It really does help me out a lot, and it allows me to keep YouTube as my part-time job. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.